So I will start with Bulawayo province. I will only mention the winners. I won't be mentioning the other people who participated. And that I think we did in the last press conference. The main wing, our winner is Jabulani Sibanda. And the women's league, our winner is Ara Sibanda. And the youth league is Murechu F is the winner in the youth league.
If I can just, well, we are very happy that Comrade Jabu Sibanda has come back to the party. He had a run-in with the First Republic. You remember his first statement of a bedroom coup during the days of Stop It. And of course, I also, as a war veteran, joined him in that outcry. He has decided to come back to the party, and the people of Bulawayo have endorsed him, and they voted, and the political has endorsed him as the new leader. We are looking for his vibrant activism to lead to revival of Bulawayo as an industrial city, to surpass whatever happened in the colonial era. You know what the president is doing with the Muchabezi pipeline, with the Muchabezi dam, to address once and for all the perennial water problems of Bulawayo. Without water, there cannot be a city. Without water, there cannot be investment. So Jabulani has got his work cut out. He's a war veteran. He loves his people. He showed it as a young man when he went to war. Bulawayo, we've got a good man there. When the elections come, please look out for Jabu and what he will do for your city. I want to thank you.
I'll then move to Harare province. Chairman of the main wing is Comrade G. Matabeleland. And the women's league, the winner is Comrade R. Mukarati. And the youth league is Comrade E. Mahachi. That's Harare, if you want to comment.
Yes, we are again delighted that Comrade Masvingo has retained the chairmanship. A lot is happening by the ruling party in Harare and other urban areas in terms of restoring infrastructure. And the Open for Business mantra is also taking effect. The businesses are very bullish about the Zimbabwean economy, which means more jobs for young people. So this new look, Harare, is going to be the work of cut out for this team, which is led by Comrade Masvingo, a seasoned party cadre and a man who knows Harare very well. We are again confident that, because there are so many by-elections coming up in Harare, we'll be pitching the new thrust of the president, particularly focusing on the title deeds for the existing urban stock of houses and what impact it will have on Harare residents. This city will never be the same again, because Zanu PF is determined to fill the gap left by those MTC eunuchs who ruled for 2 decades without bothering to know what an urban is. What is the essence of an urban center? Jobs, industries, water, electricity, which are all functioning. And a city which delivers made in Harare, made in Bulawayo goods for the global market. These cities failed to have brand names during the era of the MTC because they had no clue. So young people ended up loitering in the street. Mutoriro, because cabbage was not being collected, people sleeping because sewage was all over. No, we're seeing cities being turned into rural dangers by the MTC. I think this team is determined to change the picture of the urban cities. The same way we've done the rural areas where they are all solar panels. People are now building nice houses for themselves. So this is what we want, what we are doing for the rural areas as Zanu PF with Kumvudza and many other, bring prosperity to rural areas. We now want people of we can't leave them to wallow in the neglect of a eunuch party, the MDC.
Manicaland Province, Main Wing, Comrade Mike Madiro. Women's League, Comrade H. Nyakuyedzwa. And the Youth League is Comrade S. Sakukanya.
Well, there was a lot of hana about Manicaland. The social media was awash with all sorts of speculations about, who has won and that there will be blood on the floor in the political. I'm sure you are all. That's why we want you to come into this place for post briefings, so that some of these stories about blood on the floor, you find that you see that they are false. There's no blood on the floor. Everything went on well, even on what was supposed to be contested provinces like Manicaland. We congratulate Comrade Madiro. Again, a party of long standing. This is the Eastern Gateway of Zimbabwe. Now, with the industries which I'm talking about, we now have to revive Manicaland as the gateway, the shortest gateway to the sea, so that the inflation factor associated with the post-colonial era of being forced by Renamo and by Western countries to go 2,000 kilometers to Durban to go and export. Can you imagine how much it weighted on the profitability of Zimbabwean companies? So we want Manicaland back as the Eastern Gateway, shortest gateway to the sea, and we are looking at new ports along the border with Zimbabwe, and Manicaland is out to play its role. And this team will make sure that it delivers. We are happy about the Women's League, the woman who won, a courageous, bold woman. Can you imagine your husband is contesting against the ticket when you are in the basket, and you decide to stick with what in the basket, and the people of the women of Manicaland resonate with him. So we had a husband on one side in the team, the wife on the other side in the team. She pulls it off. Can we not say she's a performer? So to the girl child, here is a classic case of a woman who says, I love my party, I love my people, I love my principles, and even if it weighs down on some of the social aspects of her life, she stuck to her guns. Congratulations to Epias Nyakuyedzwa. She's done a fantastic job. And the young Sakupanya, we're also happy about her. The future of the party with such a young, vibrant leadership is bright. I thank you about Manicaland here.
Mashonaland Central Province. Main Wing, the winner is Comrade Kazembe. And on the Women's League, it's Comrade T. Gezi. And on the Youth League is Comrade E. Raradza. That's Mashonaland Central.
Another round of perennial fight between Kazembe and Musarara. It has been going on for a very long time. But both of them love their party. They won, even if they repeatedly lose, and some win, they still stick to Zanu PF. The people of Mashonaland Central have chosen Kazembe. This is the home of the Zimbabwe Revolution. When the Chimurenga was first implanted by Tongo Gara and Chitepo on a permanent basis within Zimbabwe in the Northeast campaign in 1969, and between 1969 and 73, with the support of Frelimo, which had crossed the Zambezi in Mozambique, that province became the home of the Zimbabwe Revolution, the sustained home of the Zimbabwe Revolution. So it's a solid party province. The differences of these cadres just doesn't wash when it comes to the national voting patterns in 2023 and the harmonized election. It comes out solidly Zanu PF, notwithstanding the fight between Kazembe and Musarara. That shows democracy in the party. It's live. And we hope that the spirit which has existed in that province will take root with the new players, with the team, to make sure that when we go to harmonized elections, Mashonaland Central once again shows its revolutionary traditions and its democratic mettle. I thank you.
Mashonaland East Province, main wing, it's Comrade D. Garwe. And the Women's League is Comrade Apollonia Mudlerengwe. And then the Youth League, it's Comrade I. Tasikani. That's Mashonaland East.
Something extraordinary about Mashonaland East. Ozias Bute, one of the candidates, was disqualified as the rest was unfolding. Because he's a cadre of the party, you saw his statement. He accepted his fate meekly and went on to commit himself to the party, to its leadership, whoever won in Mashonaland East. He didn't take umbrage, he didn't sulk, and he had a chat with the party leader, the president himself, and it was all amicable and bonhomie between them. This is what the cadreship of Zanu PF does. That's what makes us different from the other party, where if one loses, he goes and forms a wing of the same party until they run out of the letters of the alphabet. The same party having an acronym of each and every. Now they are going beyond the alphabet. They are going cross-numerical. G40 is now part of them. You can see Jonathan fighting with the Magaisa and the Kasugwere reaching out to. No, so the alphabet letters are not enough for the MTCs. They now want a combination of the letters of the alphabet and the numerics. They will splinter to 1 million. Zanu PF does not do that. And what Ozias did was very much appreciated by the Politburo. We are happy that Daniel Garbo won. He is the minister. He is a young man, soldier, coming into the party and being accepted. Look at where our cadres come from, diverse backgrounds, young people coming and being embraced and actually creating upsets. So young people come to Zanu PF. There is mobility within the party without fishery. This is what Zanu PF, and I'm happy that my old comrade from the war, Verengi, is again back leading the Women's League in Mashonaland East. She's a seasoned cadre. I know her when we were in Mozambique during the war. These were some of the young girls who sacrificed to make Zimbabwe what it is today. She has won, and I'm also happy for young Tasikani. Thank you.
Mashonaland West Province, main wing, it's Comrade MT Mliswa Chikoka. And the Women's League is Comrade Shamu C. And the Youth League is Comrade T. Masenda. That's Mashonaland West Province.
I just spoke about Mverengi winning the Women's League, but here is now a first. Mary Chikoka winning in the main wing of the party. I mean, this is an inspiration for the girl child, that in Zanu PF you can go all the way up to the top as a woman if you are prepared to work hard and to support, to get to Ghana for the support of the people. She is an example of gender parity and women's emancipation in Zanu PF. That young Mliswa Chikoka that has attained such a high post in the ruling party. We are very happy about her performance. We look forward to her leadership of the province, which is one of the economic powerhouses of this country, you know, particularly with what is happening in the agricultural sector, but also in the mining sector, especially between Selu and Vuma, where all those minerals, gold in Chebutu, Kadoma, and Kwekwe, and ferrochrome, Selu, and everywhere, and now platinum group metals. You hear what Zimplats is doing. So we'll probably have a metallurgical city starting from Selu. That's what the president is thinking, all the way to Buma, because of the minerals which are clustered around that area. This is what Mary Muliswa and her team will be driving, among many other economic projects. We are very confident that she will do a fantastic job for Mashonaland West to fully contribute to the Zimbabwean GDP. I also want to say the gender parity and women's emancipation in Zanu PF is not a gift by a patriarchal society to women. No. Mverenge and others, I told you, were in the war. We had a people's war where everybody had to participate to offset the asymmetrical advantage of the Rhodesians. If we had left half of the population, which is women, out of the war, because they were in a feudal bondage, we would not have won. So where women are in Zimbabwe today, it's because they won it. It's their right. It's not a gift from a patriarchal society. And the girl child is doing very well in Zimbabwe. So keep it that, and girls like Mary Chikoka, Mary Muliswa Chikoka, they show that it can be done. And young people come to Zanu PF. Don't be misled by those who say tinofambira nyaya imwe chete semblance, tikange tisina kuenda ku-state house hatina rimwe basa ratinoda kuita, tinongoita ma-units anogara mumataundi achiora. I think
Masvingo province, the main wing, our chairman is Comrade Ara Masvingo. In the Women's League, it's Comrade A.S. Muhlanga. And lastly, in the Youth League, is Comrade J. Paraza. That's Masvingo province.
Another surprise, an incumbent, both the minister and the chairman loses. And people say Zanu PF is not democratic. Look at how when people disapprove of one of leadership, what happens to you in Zanu PF. But it's all in good spirit. We are confident that with the experience which Comrade Chadzamira has been building up, he will lend his support to Comrade Masvingo and his team. He has shown remarkable political mettle and courage to challenge an incumbent who had so much patronage in his favor and actually win. So democracy is alive and well in Zanu PF. This party is the home of democracy, I think.
Thank you.
Well, we also want to remind you, Masvingo is the gateway city to Mozambique. I was telling you about Manicaland. We are looking at new ports on the mouth of the Limpopo to support the steel plant in Mvuma, Chivumanise. So the president was talking. He met the delegation of businessmen who are investors in that project during the holidays. The president was working during the holidays. He met the Chinese investors, the ones I told you are the top in the whole world. We are looking at a new railway line from the steel plant to Mvuma, revitalizing the railway line from Gweru to Mvuma, and from Gweru to Masvingo. Possibly, very soon, a new line from Masvingo to Rutenga, so that Rutenga becomes a major junction. We are going to be producing initially 1.2 million tons of steel. We only consume 600 to 700,000 tons. The rest will be for export. So we have to use either Maputo or we export to South Africa. So we will be happy that the president's efforts, as far as back as 2012, he had signed an agreement on what is called the Three Presidents Port on the mouth of the Limpopo River to the Indian Ocean. He signed when he was still Minister of Defense, our president at that time. So last week, the daughter of President Samora Machel signed an agreement for the construction of the new port, which will be bigger, so that we don't have to go to congested Maputo. It will be a port dedicated to Zimbabwe, particularly initially the steel plant at Mvuma. This is how a visionary president looks at things. As far back as in 2012, he was was signing for this report of the three presidents. Remember, the three presidents of Mozambique all come from the Shai area initially. Montane, Samora Machel, and Chisana. They all come from that area, so it's called the three presidents spot. So this is what Masvingo will be delivering. And apart from the many other things which will be going on in Masvingo, because it has got a lot of water coming from the Highveld, and the soils are deep and rich. They just need water. So the team has got its work cut out. I told you, the president is focusing on prosperity, and that's what he was constantly saying to these winning teams, assigning each of them what each province must provide in terms of GDP to a vibrant economic growth of Zimbabwe. 7.8%, we want to be double digit this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Matabeleland North Province. The main wing, our chairman is Comrade Richard Moyo, and the Women's League is Comrade D. Musimanga. On the Youth League, elections were not conducted because the candidates were over age, and those who had qualified, it appeared that they were overzealous. They just wanted to come and participate, but they were not in the structures of the party. And therefore, we decided that we will arrange defer these elections, and we will have fresh elections for the youth chairman to be organized once we have sorted out some of the peripheral issues. So we don't have a youth league chairman as of now, but we should be having that very soon. Thank you.
Richard Moyo, the seasoned cadre of the party, the current resident minister, has been retained by this very, very important province of Zimbabwe in terms of energy. You know, when the railway line came from Cape Town in colonial era, it went to one. It was not by accident. They were using steam engines at that time. The coal of Wange has always been the primary energy source of Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, during the Second Republic, the town was left to decay because of the negligence of those of the last years of the first president of the country. Now it's being revived. I don't know whether anybody has been to Wange recently. All the stores are open. Young people are buying like nobody. They're like Christmas is all year round. There are chimneys belching out. We are exporting coking coal from Wange to South Africa, to the biggest steel plant, ArcelorMittal. You see trucks now in Wange. But more than that, very soon, another thermal electric plant will be commissioned. It's Ongshin. It's also in Wange, anytime now. And it will be using the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, which is a hard currency exchange, bypassing the need of sovereign guarantees from the central government. Now, the energy sector is driven primarily by private sector investment, because electricity is traded in hard currency, like the gold, which is at the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, like the bonds of companies which will be registered there by the RBZ, like the stocks of, gold is Eureka, stocks are Padenga, and Sitco, and gold is also New Caledonia. So this is an important province, and Victoria Falls is also, of course, the tourist center of the country. Comrade Richard Moyo has got his work cut out, being the energy bastion of Zimbabwe, and it will also be supplying the coking coal to the steel plant at Manize, Vuma, Chivu. It is already supplying the one at Selu and others. So this is an important province. Take note, and Zimbabwe's and Zanu PF leadership is determined that Matabeleland North plays its rightful part in the economic fortunes of Zimbabwe, and the president highlighted that as assignments to the new leadership. I thank you.
I move to Matabeleland South Province. The main wing chairman is Comrade N.M. Dlovu. The Women's League is Comrade S. Nleya. And the Youth League is Comrade N. Langa.
Yes, we do have challenges with Matabeleland South. The turnout is low. You know, it's our border province with the most important economic player on the African continent, South Africa. So there's a lot of cross-migration of young Zimbabweans from greener pastures in South Africa. So we feel that this team will rise up to the occasion. We want to restore the prosperity of Matabeleland South so that there isn't that need to go to South Africa. You know, the issues of permit, which was touched upon by the president, but because it's a diplomatic issue which involves our neighbor, he is handling it at the highest level about, you know, the permit holders. It affects mostly people from Matabeleland South. So I want you to assure you that the president is seized with that aspect with his counterpart, President Cyril Ramaphosa, and everything will be done, you know, to make sure that the impact of that permit decision is not as aggravating as one would have expected. But more important, our growing economy should be able to absorb the skills of those Zimbabweans who have been fortunate enough to go into the diaspora and show the Zimbabwean metro as workers, diligent, organized, disciplined workers in other countries. Now that our economy is growing, we will need them because their experience would not have been got here where the economy was stagnant during the Second Republic. So this team from Bulawayo, North South, has got its work cut out. There is also the major development which has increased the efficiency of Beit Bridge with the new port. Trucks are clearing much faster than at any other time. No more staying at the border for days on end. We have issues with the trickle-down effect to the smaller people, those who do cross-border trading. But by and large, the top echelons of the economy are very happy with the efficiencies which President Mnangagwa has built in on the border post in consultation with his. By the way, President Mnangagwa is in constant ad hoc consultation with his SADC neighbors on all these issues. So he's a hands-on man who uses his long historical experience of national liberation from a young age to continue to enjoy the support of his colleagues who see him as the doyen of the regional nationalistic drive towards freedom and independence. So that's what we have in Mad South. We are conscious about its contribution to the Zimbabwean economy. Thank you.
But also probably, Comrade Mutsvangwa, something very interesting as well is that the winner, Comrade Mangaliso Ndlovu,
yes,
who is the current minister responsible for tourism and environment, who used to be in the youth league and now is over the youth threshold, has participated at a higher level and becomes the chairman of the main wing in Mad South. So I think it's very interesting that we find our young people wanting to participate and even to move up the ladder. I'll move to our last province, Midlands province. On the main wing, we have our new chairman being Comrade L.D. Mavima, who was uncontested. And the Women's League, our new chairperson is Comrade Jo T. And then on the Youth League, our chairman is Comrade Zoro E. And that completes the list of winners from our 10 provinces. I thank you.